I like answering questions about being an artist or free range creative. The first one I had was, or one of the ones I had was how to keep focused on completing a project and not losing interest before starting a new one, and how to discipline oneself to not accumulate supplies only to let them sit around. Honestly, I would like to know the answer to this too, because it is tough to stay focused on completing a project before starting a new one. It's really hard, especially with ADHD or a bit of autism like I do. It's hard. I have to have a number of options, but do it in small bites. So for completing the food truck, for instance, I would sort of set a level where like, this is what I need to do this week on it. For these framed pieces, I can do this in a day or two. Drawing the piece and framing it and putting it together comes together relatively quickly. But it's hard to stay organized when you have so many interests all over the place. And it certainly is a struggle, and I'm not sure that I have a great answer. That which kind of connects to the next question that I had was somebody wanted me to talk about how to stay ahead of a market fluctuations and deciding what project to do next and knowing what's going to sell and what's hot and what's not. And honestly, this is all part of that too. Because I do so many different things, I'm always kind of throwing mud at the wall to see what will stick. So I got a handful of things that do stick and they do generate some income. So that's like writing adventures and publishing them, doing artwork like this and framing it up and listing it for sale, and some of the woodworking stuff. But like, I honestly don't really know what's going to sell. I keep guessing. And after a few things hit, then I kind of know where my market is. So right now, while I'm excited about making these frames and framing up artwork, my collectors are emerging from the woodwork. Like I've really gathered up, I don't know, 3 or 4 new collectors of artwork that I didn't know existed, but they're coming back for more. So when I come back to this, I kind of know who's looking for framed original artwork. Each thing has its own market. And it gets tricky because each thing kind of also gets its own social media platform and website, and oh, that's a lot, man. It's a lot. But when I decide to hop from one thing to the next and try something new, I have a market for each of those things. And some of this is just seasonal. So Yule logs have a set season. So I know what I'm doing during November, December. One of the other outstanding questions is during my talk at the school was how to share writing, and that can be a challenge too. But for something like this, I could just take this picture, set up a writing example, and share it on social media, and that's pretty effective. I share a lot of my writing on Kickstarters and through that channel, but sometimes the best way to share your writing is just to share your writing. So there's a lot. If you're not keen on drawing or whatever, you can grab royalty-free images, write a story about them, and just start a blog and social media and just start sharing your writing. And everybody's always worried about whether or not someone's going to steal your ideas and publish them. Once you publish them on the internet, that it counts as publishing. It's clearly your writing. Be prepared for that. But you can share your writing just by sharing your writing. Write short stories, write incomplete things, write little backgrounds. Like, who's this bog witch? I think this bog witch was, my intent was to have it be a bog witch handmaiden or some animated creation that the bog witch would send out to do her deeds. Well, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.